In the previous sutra, we learned that chittavrittis can be classified into two types, that is klishta and aklishta, painful and not painful. In Sutra 6, we learn about the 5 names of chittavrittis, that is Pramana Viparyaya Vikalpa Nidra smritayaha. So all mind transformations or chittavrittis can be divided into 5 types. The first one is Pramana. Pramana and Viparyaya are mind modifications that are a consequence of direct contact with the world using our sense organs. For example, in Pramana Vritti, we will be able to directly perceive it using our sense organs. If it is indirect contact, then it falls into the category of Vikalpa and Smriti. Nidra Vritti refers to deep sleep where there is no cognition of any object. We will learn in detail about each of these chittavrittis that we observe in our life, in our daily life. What is the chittavritti that is predominant in the various times and situations that we encounter in our daily life? So we will soon notice that we tend to gravitate towards certain kinds of chittavrittis when we are faced with a certain situation. So this conclusion comes after we observe in our daily life our mind modifications. Sutra 7 talks about the various types of Pramana chittavritti. They are Pratyaksha Anumana Agamaha Pramanani. So Patanjali here gives us various methods of identifying Pramana vritti. Pramana, which means the standard or the right knowledge, it can again be of 3 types, which is Pratyaksha, Anumana and Agama. Pratyaksha means which is direct cognition or evidence that comes through our sense organs. For example, if you are seeing your own car directly with your own eyes, then it is Pratyaksha Pramana chittavritti. Anumana means it is inference. For example, say you are sitting in your room and you hear a specific sound made by your car, probably when you lock it or when you open it, and then you infer that, okay, since I hear that sound, probably my car has come. You have not directly seen your car, but through a direct sense approach, which means you have heard through your ears and you have inferred it that your car has arrived. So that is what is known as Anumana. The third type of chittavritti pramana is Agama. Agama means testimony or revelation. So whenever we say that, it doesn't mean that it has to be a Agama from the Vedas or the Rishis or the sages or scientists. It might even be that your servant comes and tells you that your car has come. So you have the knowledge that the car has come because your servant has testified to the presence of your car. So that kind of chittavritti is known as Agama Pramana chittavritti. Now if you look at it, you will see that entire science is based on pramana because whole science is developed based on testimony, which means Agama Pramana. And what is it based on? It is based on direct cognition because scientists do experiments, which is Pratyaksha Pramana, and draw inferences based on them, which is Anumana Pramana. So if you look at it, science is the application of Pramana chittavritti, and all the 3 types of Pramana chittavrittis are involved in the development of science. After Pramana comes the Viparyaya. So Sutra 8 talks about the definition of Viparyaya. So Viparyayo mithya jnanam atadrupa pratishtam. So Viparyaya vritti, which means wrong knowledge, is a false conception of a thing whose real form does not correspond to its own. So let us take the example of a mirage. Mirage that you see in a desert. There is no water, but we feel that there is water. So this is actually a mind modification. There is no correspondence between the impression that you got and by the thing itself. You got the impression that water is there, but water is not there. So this kind of wrong knowledge is known as Viparyaya. Another example, when we say that it is not related to the correctness of the mental impression that we got, let us look at the story of 4 blind people trying to find out how an elephant looks like. One of them catches the tail, another holds on to the trunk, another ears, and another blind person touches the legs of the elephant, and each one describes his view of the elephant. All this is Viparyaya, because one calls it is a flat surface, another says it's a pot belly type, one that is holding the leg says that the elephant looks like a pillar. So in this example as well, whatever is the mental impression that you got, the actual thing is not in accordance to that. That is why this is known as Mithya Jnanam or the Viparyaya chittavritti. Same thing happens when we look at some object in semi-darkness and mistake it to be something else. There might be a piece of rope lying there and it might look to you as though it is a snake. But it is not a snake, though your mind perceived it as a snake. So all these are examples of Viparyaya. The third chittavritti is Vikalpa. It is defined as Shabda Jnananupati Vastu Shunyaha Vikalpaha. Means an image that is built on words without a corresponding substance is known as Vikalpa, which is fancy or imagination. If we read a fiction story, we know that the objects that are referred in the story do not exist, or their combination might not exist. For example, when we say there is a man with a lion's head, the man and lion exist separately, but the combination of man with a lion head does not exist. That is Vikalpa, which is fancy or imagination. The 10th sutra talks about of Nidra chittavritti. It is defined as Abhava pratyayalambana vrittihi nidra. In sleep, it is a state where there is complete absence of mind content. When we sleep, the mind is blank. It is not contributing to anything. It has nothing in it. So, even the absence of any mind content is classified as a chittavritti by Patanjali. In sleep, the activities of mind do not stop. It is just that the mind is disconnected from the brain, which is why brain does not record the activities of the mind. So when the person wakes up, the contact is immediately established again. A small recap of the sutras 1 to 10. Atha yoganushasanam. Yogaha chittavritti nirodha. Tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam. Vritti sarupyam itaratra. वृत्तयः पञ्चतयः क्लिष्टाः अक्लिष्टाः प्रमाण विपर्यय विकल्प निद्रा स्मृतयः प्रत्यक्ष अनुमान आगमाः प्रमाणानि विपर्ययो मिथ्याज्ञानम् अतद्रूप प्रतिष्ठम् शब्दज्ञानानुपाति वस्तु शून्यः विकल्पः अभाव प्रत्ययालम्बना वृत्तिर्निद्रा.